Why the fuck did you think it was okay to sex me before the game? What the fuck?
You were hard, weren't you?
This is the story of how a steamy queer hockey romance novel became one of the most beloved book-to-screen adaptations in recent memory, breaking streaming records along the way.
Wow. Do you think this will be enough? Fuck off.
What made this adaptation land so perfectly when book-to-screen translations disappoint fans more often than not? Today we're breaking down everything that went right, from casting decisions to creative vision to the unprecedented faithfulness that left readers in tears.
It's you. It's this.
Let's get into it. Before the show, there was the book. Canadian author Rachel Reid published Heated Rivalry as the second entry in her Game Changers series, and it tells the story of Shane Hollander and Ilya Razanov, two NHL superstars who play bitter rivals on the ice while carrying on a secret years-long affair off of it.
You missed me, didn't you?
I fucking didn't. And I still beat your ass.
Barely.
Shane captains the Montreal Metros, a golden boy born in Ottawa to a Japanese-Canadian family who keeps himself quiet, reserved, and deeply closeted. Ilya captains the Boston Raiders, a Russian-born player who moves through the world brash, confident, and completely himself. What starts between them as something purely physical eventually becomes something neither one expected, which is love.
You still won't? Still won't.
Romance reading circles embrace the book, especially readers who were desperate for queer stories with happy endings. That detail matters. LGBTQ+ characters in fiction so often met tragic fates during this era, and Reid wrote a story that centered joy instead, messy and complicated as that joy might be.
You're in love with him.
I'm not in love with him.
You are.
Here's the thing about romance novels with mature content, though. They don't get adapted. The industry has spent decades dismissing the genre as unserious, unworthy of the treatment given to thrillers or literary fiction. Rachel Reid understood this reality perfectly. She once admitted that when you write the kind of books she does, you don't really expect anyone to even think about adapting them. And that's when an Instagram message changed everything.
I want you so bad. So bad. Wow, you are so beautiful.
Rachel Reid received her Parkinson's diagnosis. 4 days later, a direct message arrived from Jacob Tierney. Tierney built his reputation creating the comedy series Letterkenny and its spin-off Storrie. He's openly gay. He'd just discovered Reid's novels while working on another project, and what he wanted was adaptation rights. Reid laughed when she read that message. Things like this don't happen to authors of queer romance novels about hockey players. Tierney meant it, though. He had a vision. The timing hit Reid hard in a different way. Getting that message right when she did gave her exactly what she needed, something positive to focus on.
What the? I'm coming to the cottage.
Tierney spent the following stretch developing the project and writing a spec script until Crave officially picked up the show. He would serve as creator, writer, and director across all 6 episodes, the kind of singular creative control that's become rare in television. His vision never wavered. Interview after interview, Tierney kept saying the same things. The show is queer joy for adults. We deserve a gay show that's fun. He didn't want to traffic in queer trauma, he wanted to traffic in queer joy.
Fuck you, he played hockey for McGill.
Whoa. What the fuck is McGill? Is McGill a town?
It's a really good school.
None of that was marketing language. He was responding directly to decades of LGBTQ+ representation built on suffering. Tierney pointed to patterns across media where queer characters experience misery, and even when they're placed front and center, they rarely get to be happy. Heated Rivalry would break that pattern.
I hate you.
No, you don't.
The reason he wanted to make the show, as Tierney put it, was because it's a love story and it ends happily. No adaptation works without the right cast, and Heated Rivalry found lightning in a bottle with its 2 leads. Hudson Williams landed the role of Shane Hollander.
Tell me about them.
What do you want to know?
He's from Kamloops, British Columbia, and this part would become his breakthrough. Connor's story took on Ilya Razanov, a Texas native who had appeared previously in Joker Folie à Deux. Chemistry between them showed up immediately during auditions. Williams read with multiple potential scene partners before Storrie walked in, and he later described the difference by saying the other actors were good, but with Connor there was an intensity that hit immediately.
I love you.
I love it. Holy shit. I love you too.
Storrie felt the same thing from his side. Hudson was the 3rd actor he read with. The first 2 seemed cool to him. Then Hudson came on and it was instant. That chemistry powered the entire series. The 2 actors built a genuine friendship during production, and Storrie joked in interviews that filming the intimate scenes felt natural because of their bond.
I know your mother is Japanese or something. Probably where you get your looks.
Both of them brought serious craft beyond just chemistry, though. Storrie learned Russian and developed an accent for the part, and then he made an unusual choice by staying in character with that accent through entire filming days. Rachel Reid visited set and essentially met Connor as Ilya, which she described as kind of a lot to process.
What the fuck was that?
Alone?
Williams made an equally significant choice. Rachel Reid confirmed to him that Shane exists on the autism spectrum, and Williams played him that way. His own father is on the spectrum, and he drew from that personal connection. Autistic viewers responded powerfully, many of them expressing what it meant to see a queer autistic character depicted with that kind of care.
Ilya, I'm gay.
You're not so gay you can fuck Rose Landry.
Oh my god.
I'm just a bellboy.
The supporting cast matched that energy. Francois Arnault came aboard as Scott Hunter, captain of the New York Admirals. Tierney recruited him personally, telling Arnault he hadn't written the part for him but couldn't hear anyone else's voice when he read it.
I'm not just a pretty face. Oh, but you're a very pretty face. You can't tell. If anyone finds out that...
Rachel Reid's reaction to seeing the full cast in action was overwhelming. She said that if she'd built perfect actors in a lab, she couldn't have built better people for these characters. Their performances hit so hard that she couldn't remember what Ilya used to look like in her imagination anymore.
I don't give a fuck how I played 2 fucking nights ago. I don't need to think about that. That was yesterday, that was before.
And this is where heated rivalry separated itself from adaptations that disappoint. The show actually trusted its source material. Rachel Reid served as consulting producer across all 6 episodes, the kind of close involvement that's unusual for a romance author. She read every script, early drafts included. What she found moved her deeply. After reading that first episode script, Reid said the thing that made her most emotional was the respect she saw for her work throughout.
And it felt like we were something.
We can't be something, Hollander.
The adaptation stayed touchingly faithful while remaining thoughtful about the characters and story. Her writing had been taken seriously. That point carries weight. Romance as a genre gets dismissed by the entertainment industry, despite being one of publishing's most commercially successful categories. Tierney's approach, treating Reid's work with the same gravity given to prestige drama, represented something genuinely new.
How about you tell me everything that's on your mind, but in Russian?
Newsweek called Heated Rivalry an anomaly in the era of adaptation television. The jump from page to screen stayed so true to the source material that fans had nothing to fight about. Tierney didn't make a shot-for-shot recreation, though. His changes were strategic, additive rather than subtractive. The biggest structural shift involved pacing. Shane and Ilya's first intimate encounter happens very early in the book, but the show moved that scene to episode 2. Tierney filled the space by adding a snowstorm to episode 1 that delays their meeting, building tension before the release.
You like tuna melt?
You want to make me a tuna melt?
I was gonna make one for me, I'll make 2.
New scenes deepened the emotional core too. One edition showed Ilya relentlessly texting Shane, filling gaps Reid herself acknowledged existed in the book. Another landed even harder, a scene between Shane and his mother where she seeks forgiveness for not creating a safe space for him to come out. That scene doesn't exist in the book at all. Hudson Williams called it the quintessential wrap-up scene, the one that affected him most when he read the script.
I'm sorry about your family. Even if they suck, you must miss them.
Smaller changes mattered too. Shane's Asian-Canadian identity became more visually prominent. New sequences visualized his inner monologue through unsent text messages. Scenes showing Ilya asking for consent during intimate moments felt true to the character, while reflecting contemporary sensibilities. BuzzFeed ran a headline declaring these brilliant changes had everyone saying the adaptation delivered exactly what fans had been begging for. Rachel Reid's verdict landed without qualification. She couldn't have dreamed a better adaptation. Fan expectations were sky high, and she believed they would be exceeded. The intimate scenes deserve direct discussion because you can't talk about heated rivalry without addressing them. This show depicts queer intimacy without flinching. That choice was completely intentional. Tierney explained his philosophy clearly. Physical intimacy is Shane and Ilya's language, their way of communicating. They don't talk much. Those scenes aren't gratuitous. They're essential to understanding who these characters are and how their relationship functions. Intimacy coordinator Chala Hunter came aboard to ensure authenticity and safety during filming. She wanted to represent queer intimacy in a way that felt authentic to the community. Critics and fans responded to that unapologetic approach. Pink News praised the show's attitude toward intimacy as dialogue, calling it standout in today's sanitized television environment. New York Magazine offered the most memorable comparison, saying the show makes Heartstopper seem tame. that was meant as a compliment, acknowledging that Heated Rivalry centered adult queer experiences without apology. One HBO executive described the show as playing like Challengers meets Red, White, and Royal Blue, capturing competitive sports intensity alongside romance novel heart. When Heated Rivalry premiered with a 2-episode drop, it immediately became a cultural event. The numbers told one story. Crave viewership jumped nearly 400% during the initial streaming window, making it the most watched original series in the platform's history. HBO Max saw it become the top debut for an acquired non-animated title since the platform launched. It ranked among the top scripted debuts and became one of the biggest drivers of first-time subscribers. What Happened Online told another story entirely. Fan names for the central couple started trending across social media. TikTok and Instagram flooded with fan edits, memes, and reaction videos. The show became one of Reddit's most discussed series. Tumblr's Heated Rivalry tag accumulated thousands of posts within weeks. Specific moments turned into viral sensations. Episode 5's ending featured a kiss between secondary characters Scott and Kip on the ice, and the reactions were massive. Today.com reported fans were watching that episode like it was the Super Bowl. Music choices from the show exploded in popularity too. Wolf Parade's I'll Believe in Anything saw streaming numbers jump dramatically. A remix of TATU's All the Things She Said experienced an enormous spike. West Hollywood started doing something unique. Gay bars including High Tops, Gym Bar, Rocco's, and Beaches began hosting weekly screening parties. Crowds spilled onto sidewalks by the season finale. It had become appointment television for the community. Williams and Storrie noticed and showed up. The two stars surprised fans at High Tops Trivia Night, raising money for Rainbow Labs, an LGBTQ+ youth mentorship organization. Storrie addressed the crowd with humor, thanking them for their enthusiastic social media support. Celebrities took notice too. Pedro Pascal became the show's most prominent fan, liking multiple Instagram posts and commenting on viral videos of bar screening reactions. His engagement introduced Heated Rivalry to audiences who might never have found it otherwise. What nobody expected was the real hockey world's reaction. During a Montreal Canadiens Pride Night game, the Heated Rivalry trailer played on the Bell Center Jumbotron. That made the Canadiens the first NHL team to publicly acknowledge the show. Rachel Reid captured the surreal nature of that moment. There were boys kissing on the Jumbotron during an NHL game, she said, and she called it kind of incredible. The NHL itself released a statement walking a careful line between acknowledgement and endorsement. The league said there are so many ways to get hooked on hockey, and in the NHL's long history, this might be the most unique driver for creating new fans. They ended with an invitation. See you all at the rink. The Boston Bruins played along too, playing All the Things She Said at a game as a callback to the show. Not everyone in hockey spaces celebrated. Some LGBTQ+ critics pointed to irony in a league with complicated history on queer inclusion suddenly embracing a gay love story once it proved commercially valuable. The broader response remained positive though. The show was introducing hockey to entirely new audiences. Fan enthusiasm matched the critical response. Heated Rivalry landed a 97% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics praised Jacob Tierney for lovingly adapting Rachel Reid's romance novels into what they called an all-consuming, dreamy love fest of true queer intent, a bona fide winner. Individual reviews ran even warmer. The Washington Post praised the lead actor's chemistry as remarkable, while noting Storrie's impressive Russian accent. The Hollywood Reporter called the show a gift to queer audiences and praised it for capturing a transitional time in gay men's lives that can feel terrifying or freeing. RogerEbert.com said Heated Rivalry stands out in a landscape of recent queer television that plays it too safe. Film named Williams and Storrie the strongest breakout performances of the year. TV Line gave both leads Performers of the Week honors for the season finale. NPR's Glenn Weldon articulated what many critics felt, saying the bar had shifted with this show because it's a positive story. The Quinnipiac Chronicle praised the series for depicting queer men as real people with multifaceted relationships. Episode 5 achieved something on IMDb by briefly tying with what many consider one of television's greatest episodes. That rating eventually settled lower, but it captured a genuine moment of collective enthusiasm. What actually made this adaptation so beloved then? Let me pull together everything we've covered. Respect for the source material came first. Jacob Tierney approached Rachel Reid's novel as something to honor, not improve. His faithfulness wasn't rigid. He made creative choices. Those choices served the story Reid wrote rather than replacing it. Casting came second. Williams and Storrie found something genuine in each other that went beyond looking right for the parts. That chemistry carried the series and gave fans characters worth investing in completely. Creative vision came third. Tierney knew exactly what he wanted to make, a queer love story for adults that refused to apologize for its intimacy or its joy. LGBTQ+ stories so often emphasize trauma in media, and he committed to happiness instead. Cultural timing came forth. The show arrived when audiences were hungry for exactly this content. Films like Red, White, and Royal Blue and series like Heartstopper had proven the audience existed for queer romance. Heated Rivalry went further by offering something more mature. Community came fifth, and this might be the most important factor. Watch parties, memes, fan edits, celebrity endorsements, all of it created a shared experience that amplified the show's impact. People weren't just watching Heated Rivalry, they were watching it together. Rachel Reid spoke to what the moment meant for her personally and professionally. Jacob Tierney took her work more seriously than romance ever gets taken, she said, and she hoped the show would change the way romance gets filmed. That hope seems reasonable. Industry analysts have already started examining what Hollywood can learn from this phenomenon. The story continues. Shortly after the premiere, Crave announced Heated Rivalry had been renewed for a second season. HBO Max secured distribution rights for the new season across multiple international territories. Season 2 will adapt The Long Game, another book in Rachel Reid's Game Changers series that continues Shane and Ilya's story. Both Hudson Williams and Connor Storrie signed contracts for multiple seasons, ensuring character continuity for fans. Tierney returns to direct all episodes, though he mentioned he might bring in additional writers. He stayed honest about the timeline, noting the writing process takes time and the second season won't arrive immediately. Bell Media executives expressed interest in continuing the story while respecting creative boundaries. The Game Changers series offers plenty of material. Reid has written multiple books featuring interconnected characters and couples. Season 1 concluded with an episode called The Cottage. It delivered the happy ending the book promised, the happy ending Jacob Tierney always said was his reason for making the show. When Rachel Reid received that Instagram message from Jacob Tierney just days after her diagnosis, she laughed at the absurdity. Things like that don't happen to authors of queer romance novels about hockey players. It happened, though. What followed was an adaptation that honored its source, respected its audience, celebrated queer joy without apology, and found viewers far beyond what anyone expected. The show's success didn't happen by accident. A creator with a clear vision, actors with undeniable chemistry, a production team that took romance seriously, and a fan base ready to embrace something made specifically for them. All of those elements came together. Rachel Reid said letting her characters go was the hardest part. The night before the show's official announcement, she got emotional. It was the last night those characters belonged only to her. Now they belong to everyone who watched them fall in love on screen. Based on the response, that's a lot of people. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit subscribe. If you've seen Heated Rivalry, drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what moments hit hardest for you. See you in the next one.